Hey, big cup and hello.
I'm Laura,
And I'm Kate.
and welcome to episode 0 of the Lorelai's First Day at Podcasting.
Welcome to our brand new Gilmore Girls podcast.
We're going to start off by introducing ourselves so that you get to know us a little bit better. Again, my name is Laura. I'm American.
I'm Kate, and I'm a Canadian.
And we wanted to talk to you first and foremost about what we love about the show, what has got us interested in it, and why we're doing this podcast. Would you like to get us started?
Yeah, so I've been watching the show since 2016. I got on the bandwagon very late. I had just quit my finance job in Vancouver and moved back to Ontario, and I was job hunting. And so, as something to do while I was, waiting for jobs to fall into place, I decided to start binge watching the show. And I was sold 15 minutes in. As soon as Michelle says, "People are particularly stupid today. I cannot talk to any more of them," I was like, this is my stuff.
Yeah, that's a great line. I came to the show as a 14-year-old about to enter high school. So Rory was very close in age to me at that time. And I could relate to a lot of her experiences with what she had going on, her love of books, kind of not having too many friends and trying to navigate the waters of being a teenager. So it was nice to have a character on screen every single week that you could just watch and relate to.
Yeah, I was 26 when I first started watching. So I was older than Rory, but still younger than Lorelai. But now we're both 32. So we're the age that, sorry for dating us, but
it's okay.
we're the age that Lorelai was when the show starts and the age that Rory is in the revival. And so I think this is a really good time for us to be talking about these things because we have a lot of perspective of where these women were and where they ended up.
Mm-hmm. What do you love most about the show, though, that really got you hooked?
Oh, I love how intelligent it is. The writing is so funny and so erudite, and it's just for being twice as long as a normal television script, they cram so much stuff in there. And I love that I can watch the show over and over again. I'm watching it like 4 times just right now from different places in the series for different reasons with different people. And each time I watch it, I get something new out of it. I pick up on a new reference, or I just notice something I never noticed before. And I love just how much they were able to get into this. And it's just one of the smartest TV shows of the last few decades.
It was always very cleverly written. And I come from a theater and comedy background, so I can appreciate the behind the scenes aspect of it as well, with the writing and the directing and what it takes to produce a show like that. But it is intelligent and knowledgeable. And the themes that are presented in these episodes are things that are still relevant now that we can and should still be talking about, which is why we're going to be diving into this, not from a necessarily let's recap every single episode sort of mindset, but just presenting themes as we go on that are ongoing within the episodes and presenting them in a knowledgeable and intelligent way. Which also leads us into talking about what is the Gilmore Way and how our podcast is going to differentiate from others you may have already been listening to.
Right. So apparently this was the title that was pitched by the studio for the show, but Amy really fought for the Gilmore Girls. And when I heard that, I was like, the Gilmore Way, that just sounds so perfect for what we're doing here. I think it touches on the fact that the Gilmore Way is intelligent discussion about social and cultural issues and breaking things down with both substance and style.
And again, instead of just doing recaps, we're going to be analyzing those themes, dealing with and talking about the variety of topics that this show brings up, why those topics were relevant then, why they're still relevant now, and how we can apply them into our lives that benefits us and others.
Yeah, it has been, 22 years since the show started and 15 since the original series ended, but there's still always more to say. And so we're going to be digging into why the show has endured this long the way that it has as well.
And of course, we're going to be doing so hopped up on caffeine and talking as fast and intelligently as we can.
Yeah, I tend to talk pretty fast anyway. Yeah. So I think this is going to be perfect for me.
Yep. We'll also be covering anywhere from 1 to 3 episodes at a time, and we'll be doing so in a YouTube premiere format. So our episodes will be dropping on Friday evenings. You can catch us here as they are released. And it is an engaging platform, which is why we decided to go this route so that we can participate with you, the audience, and anyone who is watching. And we'll be doing it again, talking about themes and topics with those things in mind as we're breaking down plot points.
Right. There are a lot of Gilmore Girls podcasts out there, both active and ended already. And we just didn't see a lot of people doing this in the YouTube space. There aren't a lot of audiovisual podcasts. There are a lot of video essays and deep dive videos, but no interactive podcasts like this. And,
Mm-hmm.
we actually met kind of indirectly through YouTube chats, through some mutual friends, mostly through the Game of Thrones fandom, because we're both huge nerds. So we really wanted to bring that same sort of community energy that we found in the Game of Thrones podcast world to the Gilmore Girls fandom, because that real-time interaction with us, at least one of us will try to always be in the premiere chats on Friday evenings. So just you can interact with others and with us in a way that you just can't with audio-only podcasts and with other formats of this kind of stuff.
And that's what we're really excited about. We don't want to just be talking at you. We want to be engaging with you, because we want to cultivate a community and a safe space where we can talk about this show free of any hatred, free of any biases, but we can just do so one-on-one and just talk to you and see what your thoughts are in response to ours, and just have that engagement within the fan community.
Right, we're really excited to see what you guys have to say.
Yeah, please talk with us, like communicate with us. We'll also be getting to the social media accounts that we have set up as ways to reach us. But really quick, I want to transition us into a kind of rapid fire question montage as a way to, again, just get to know us better. This is something that Scott Patterson did on his podcast, and we really loved it. So we kind of want to mimic that now and steal that and just ask some rapid fire questions of one another.
Right. Okay. So Laura, how do you take your coffee?
Coffee is iced, preferably. Even in the winter, I will still drink it like that, with cream, as light as possible. Don't do black, and sugar.
Mine is also preferably iced, also in the winter. Sugar does not belong in coffee, just cream.
Fight me. Next question. Can you smell snow?
I'm Canadian, of course I can.
Yeah, that makes sense. I probably can, but yeah, I'm gonna say that you would win that one. You're the true north, and I'm just down south. Team Dean, Jess, or Logan?
Team Logan.
We're gonna fight on this one too, but that's Team Jess all day, every day.
Yeah, that comes in season 2. Stay tuned for the Battle of the Boyfriends.
Yeah. That being said, who's Rory's daddy?
Also
baby
Logan.
daddy.
Also Logan.
Yeah, I'm gonna say too. That's Logan. A lot of contenders there, but Logan is the father.
What was your best memory of Gilmore Girls?
Ooh, this is like a twofold answer for me here. But one of the best things about it was just discovering you as a friend who just had this like insane passion for it in the same way I did. And just knowing that we could converse about it in a way that I didn't have any other friends that I could talk to about it in that way. And then just being able to like start a podcast over it and make the decision that that's what we wanted to do. Jumping off of that, we ended up taking a really epic New England road trip this summer, going all around Connecticut and a lot of places that are important and relevant and seen in the show. We'll also be talking about that in a future episode, so please stay tuned. But again, that was a road trip that I wouldn't ever be able to take with anyone else, because I never had anyone else in my life that loved the show as much as you did. So those are some pretty favorite memories. What about you?
Mine's pretty similar. There was one time early on, before we were really good friends, we were on a Zoom call with some of our friends, and we ended up being the last people awake at 2 a.m. or something. And we had an in-depth discussion about Gilmore Girls. I think it was about the boyfriend question. And that was just like the first time we really bonded about something. And then, a little while later, you came back from New York Comic Con and you got to meet Scott Patterson, and you sent me a signed print of the scene from Wedding Bell Blues where Luca's just lovingly gazing at Lorelais, and I've got it framed on my dresser at home. So that's a pretty good one. And obviously the road trip, like the fact that I finally got to do this trip that I had been envisioning in my head for a few years, and I brought it up to her, and she was like, yeah, let's do this. And that we could actually make that happen. We had one phone call, I think it was 4 hours?
4 hours
on Google Hangouts, and basically had the entire thing laid out in one go. And the actual trip ended up being pretty much almost exactly
didn't deviate too much in that 4-hour phone call. We pretty much outlined this epic 3-week trip, and things didn't always go according to plan, but we were able to see everything that we really wanted to. And that just allowed for us to continue to bond and grow closer as friends, thus doing this.
Right. This is no longer rapid fire. Sorry for that. Yeah. Favorite Friday night dinner meal / moment?
Ooh, okay. My favorite meal personally is Italian. I am an Italian girl, based out of Jersey. So I do love being able to just go to my favorite Italian restaurant, get a nice dish of pasta, have a glass of wine, and just being able to relax and chill in that way. My favorite dinner show moment is definitely in Tick, 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 Boom. Yeah, right. Where you talk about ubiquitous anvils. Where did they all go? why did they just suddenly cease to exist from the world when they had seemingly been so prevalent and brought up and everyone knew what they were? And that was just brilliant writing, and something that Lorelai would say at a Friday night dinner to just annoy the crap out of Emily.
Right.
What about you?
I too love pasta. I'm not Italian, but I just am a carb queen. And anything made out of French fries or potatoes, French fries, potatoes. Again, with being a huge nerd. As for my favorite from the show, you make a great point on Tick, 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 Boom. I thought you were going to go with the explosive Floyd scene.
Ooh, that's also a really good one.
And it just goes to show that that episode has probably the best Friday night dinner moments. But the other one that obviously really stands out is Friday Night's All Right for Fighting, where it's just a 10-minute montage of them going back and forth and treading new ground, treading old ground. And it's just brilliantly written and brilliantly shot. And it's just like one of the most iconic Friday night dinner moments.
We get a lot of those, but yeah, those two definitely stand out. Next question. This is a little more rapid fire. What show are you binging right now other than Gilmore Girls?
I'm not really binging them per se because I'm watching them with my boyfriend, but we are watching Ted Lasso and he's trying to get me into Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Yep. Other than that, the only other show that I'm really binging right now or watching on a continual basis is Saturday Night Live. Gotta love that comedy. Always fresh and changing every single week. So
right. And then Scott's last question isn't super applicable to us. He asked which cast member they texted most recently. Obviously, we haven't been texting the cast, which is really sad.
We wish we were.
If anyone from the cast wants to text us, that'd be great. But who's the person you texted most recently?
That would actually be our mutual friend, Amy. Just, again, was talking to her about Saturday Night Live just the other night. And what about you?
Mine would be my boyfriend. So
yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Fitting.
Yep. That being said, again, this is just a shorter episode 0 to get to know us a little bit better. We hope that you will continue watching this podcast as we start doing deeper dives into these episodes and breaking down these themes and these plot points and analyzing it in that way. But where can we be found if people want to do that?
We have an Instagram. We are the Gilmore Way Pod on Instagram. And we also have a Twitter. It's probably not going to be as active as our Instagram, but it's Gilmore Way. It's at Gilmore Way Pod.
Please go check out our Instagram. We've already started posting pictures there from that New England road trip that we did this summer. So you can see a lot of those iconic places and scenes and universities within New England that are relevant to the show that Lorelai and Rory visit. And we also can be reached that way if you want to DM us or just chat with us in the lead up to the episodes being dropped. And again, we would just love to converse with you. So please talk to us and reach out.
Another way that you could kind of more directly chat with us is we do have an email as well. It's the Gilmore Way podcast @gmail.com.
Yep. And we are responsive there. So we will answer your emails. We'd love to get to know you better. We'll get to know us better. So yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
That's us.
So stay tuned. Next week, we're dropping a full podcast episode just detailing our trip to Harvard and beyond, really, our entire road trip. And then the next topic we're going to touch on after that is pressure on gifted students. So
that's a good one.
Because we're going to be talking about the first 2 episodes, all the setup of Rory going to Chilton and the fireworks that come out of that, and just, how the show handles the pressure put on kids in prep school and to go to Ivy League schools and just all of the things that come along with that.
Yep. So stay tuned for those. Again, our episode premieres will be dropping on YouTube on Friday evenings, but that wraps us up for this week. And we will see you next Friday night for dinner.
Bye.
Bye.